60-minute style, very polished, in a in your mobile home. In the backdrop is Camp Promise, which I'm going to be doing reporting from. I did a town hall here a couple weeks ago, and from that town hall, apparently residents were inspired or angry enough that they've created a whole water protectors camp here in Flint to voice their opposition with the inaction here in Flint, the corruption here in Flint, and the straight up, in many people's eyes, efforts to ethnically cleanse Flint of poor people. Poor white people, poor black people, poor marshmallows, it really doesn't matter. That's what's been going on. So in front of me is Tony Palladeno, his wife Leah Palladeno, Abel, and you were three of the residents here that were arrested last night. Tony, I'll start with you. I saw you speaking passionately. It was your turn. You waited to ask a question. You're a colorful guy. You're known around town. You voice your opinion. They've deemed you kind of radical, the city officials. So can you kind of walk us through, first of all, what was your experience with them telling you to take your hat off, the intimidation, and then how did it escalate to an arrest?
Well, I was raised, you walk into a church, you take your hat off, and I did. But as I got down into the church, I started hearing a little ruckus, so I come outside and they're telling these guys they've got to either take their hat off and leave. And I felt like right away, it's like, oh, this is a cause for them to start something. I felt division was getting ready to happen. So I stood there and said, look, this isn't right. This is pretty petty. And most officers, I want to say, they looked at me like, yeah, I agree, but it's still not our rule. Well, I look at it this way. If this is a town hall meeting, first and foremost, why are we having it in a church? You understand? They do this all the time. The mayor has a tendency, she's backed by the concerned pastors and the prophets for profits, I call them. And I can't, tell her, hey, that's not right, that's whatever. I think there should have been a different format, like say the Whiting or the IMA or someplace where you can wear your hat, you can come in comfortable and ask some questions that need to be answered. This was the gung-ho day for us. We got 3 years going, and we're going to finally hear what they're doing.
And just to slow down, April 25th is the 3-year anniversary that they switched the water from the Detroit water system. Yes, it was a little expensive, but they never had a problem with it for 40, 50 years, to the Flint water system. That's 3 years ago. So far, less than 1,000 homes have had their pipes changed. Citizens are still clawing with their fingernails to get coverage for their health issues that are directly an impact of the water switch, with both of these fine folks will tell you about. And mayor is Karen Weaver. She wasn't the mayor when the water switch happened, but she ran on
that format, yeah.
Right. So go on.
As it went on, I went and talked to the chief because they were escorting people out. And I've always been straight up with him. Johnson was, I like the guy, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't pulling no strings. And I thought maybe we could talk it out, and he did. He walked out to talk, and some things were settled, and I thought everything was all right. And then I went back in because I had to talk. I had to talk. You know what I'm saying? Because the panel of the EPA and Richard Baird and all them, who I did catch outside, we caught Richard Baird. Bruce Steers had been wanting to show him this project and everything, and I said, this is what we're telling you. We need you at the street level. Come down here and talk to the people that you guys have destroyed. And he said, well, I'm doing this and this and this. Never has he talked to me. I've always slammed him.
And could you explain for the audience what it is your grievances have been? I know there's a lot, but we've spoken before. You've had EPA-funded scientists, Mark Edwards, basically tell you there's nothing wrong with the water anymore.
He's actually said the lead's there, and he showed it, and but he wouldn't team with nobody else. We knew there's other stuff in this water, and we still do. Now they're talking bacteria that we talked about 2 years ago. She has not stopped breathing funky since August, and it comes on you, and it leaves you, and it comes on you, and it leaves you. Right now, I got to apologize, but I'm tired, man. It's been a long ass... we're done. You know what I'm saying? My own mayor that we fought to get in has totally disenfranchised their residents. There's no reason for it that I can see. I'm not going to slam Karen Weaver because I thought she had a chance to do what she could have done, and she didn't, and I'm going to leave it at that. I cried on my porch with that woman, and I respect her enough that I don't need to dig at her at all. Now, with that being said...
One second. Just in fairness, because I saw a lot of people criticizing the mayor last night, she wasn't putting her feet up because she's like on her couch chilling. Something's wrong with her foot. She had surgery. That's why her foot was up. Anyway, go on.
Now, I guess I don't know the guy's name, Chris Jones or whatever, her assistant. They were on the walkie-talkies all night. He was a little... It seemed like he was a little aggravated, like he's wanting something. They're wanting more. I even shook his hand, which is hard to do. The guy's hard to approach, and I understand he's protecting our sheriff, but dang it, man. She wasn't so hard to get to when we got her voted in. And the people on the panel, I'm just tired of seeing them. I'm tired of... We go all the way to fight Nestle's, and the guys are there, the same people talking the same squander. I had Mark Durno in my house. I'm going to tell you people this with Scott Smith, and that's the only reason why he got in my house. And I told him.
For the audience, Mark Durno, he's the head of the EPA's District 5, which oversees Flint.
Who told us a long time ago that it was safe to drink through a filter, and it wasn't, and it still isn't, folks. This shit is still nasty. And just 2 days ago, they're pouring brown shit into the tubs.
I want to, before we get to what happened with you and your wife, what I noticed, and I'm sure you've noticed it at the other town halls, was residents would ask questions, and the panelists, the EPA, the city officials, the mayor would be jotting down notes. Maybe it was, you know, whatever they were jotting down. And say, yeah, we're looking into that. Or, you know, maybe that person down a few spots can answer that better. I didn't see even a 12-year-old girl asked a really eloquent question.
I've realized that the more and more we speak about Flint, the less and less you guys speak. I'm 12, and I have a grandma who lives in the north side of Flint, and I want to know what's going to happen in September when y'all stop the water pods, and in 2019 when y'all supposedly are going to fix the pipes. What's going to happen to us? What is going to happen to our family that we care about?
You nailed it.
It seems like these town halls...
If you want to look at that video, you look how many times they got stymied. I mean, literally shut up, shut down, and shut out. All of them. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Benzik who sits up there and says, well, the Legionella is not such a bad... No. You can't even say that. You know what I'm saying? You can't even say that. Legionella's in the water. You're going to go, well, we can deal... No, you're not dealing with it.
So, essentially, you spoke... so your wife asked a question too, and it wasn't just questions, it was also comments. People were voicing frustration, but that's not against the law.
If you haven't never noticed, every time we're there, people have to scream out.
Right.
We shouldn't have to do that. Why do you got to scream out? Because they're not letting us talk.
Which makes it odd that they would have it at a church in the first place, because you
you're
know there's
always
angry
quiet.
people, you know there's people that might curse.
There's some people that don't even want to be in a church. First of all, why are we mixing religion in with politics and the suffering of your citizens? Yes, I believe in a God, but he might not be your God. So therefore, I'm intimidated already walking into a church.
Right.
That public forum should have been public. It should have been like the IMA, the Dome, or someplace where we can speak.
This is a beautiful church. I took my hat off when I come in here because Grandma would have busted me if I hadn't. But let me tell you something. This is not the place to do this.
Yeah.
Not as a disrespect for Jesus, all right? That's what we're saying. I don't believe in your God, maybe. We were already intimidated by the law enforcement. We told them we're going to get along today. You guys ruined that. We can't wear a hat. We can't speak. We can't talk. It's done. And you, Mr. 40 years, I don't know where you came from, but some of the stuff you're spewing is just, oh my God. Now hold on. My wife's been coughing and hacking this bacteria that they just found. We've been saying this for 3 years. You know what? And I'm tired of being up here. Mayor, I respect you. I love you. I fought for you.
So did
You understand what I'm saying? And I know this isn't your whole problem, but these monkeys you're hanging around with, they're causing some trouble. And here's where I'm at. Maybe not all of them. I'll take that back. Maybe not all of them. But I've seen you guys more than I've seen my own family. You know why? Because I'm the crazy one. When a fly craps in my house, it's because of the water. You guys know what's going on, man. And I'm tired of being pushed off this money. Someone needs to run this city. It's not me. It's you people.
Thank you.
You understand? It's not an I thing like I said from the beginning. It's a we.
Yeah.
I love you guys. I don't care if you're green, black, orange, or red. We may not always agree. And you keep hearing this over and over. Oh, it's the pipes. Oh, it's this. And let me tell you something. My galvanized pipes don't look as bad as they did then as they do now. And you will fix them. You will pay for it. And when you're done, because the streets are going up into an upward. In case you haven't noticed, we're starting to get together here. You may talk all the bacteria you want. We may argue with each other one day, because when we all come together, there ain't going to be no council. There ain't going to be none of this EPA. It's going to be Flint residents, like I said.
All power to
so now I know I got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 3 years of my life I get to stand here and rush through it. I have to be pushed around by police officers I've respected and yelled like this for, because they weren't getting treated right.